The Miller family, John, Mary and their two children, 12-year-old David and 9-year-old Lily, were ecstatic. They were finally on their way to their long-awaited vacation, a secluded cabin getaway nestled deep within the vast wilderness of Wyoming. John, a workaholic lawyer, craved this escape from the city's relentless clamor. Mary, a loving homemaker, looked forward to quality time with her family, away from the distractions of their busy lives. David and Lily, glued to their electronic devices most days, were excited about the promised adventures in the wild. The drive was long but pleasant. The further they journeyed from the city, the more the landscape transformed. Towering skyscrapers gave way to rolling hills, and the oppressive concrete jungle yielded to lush greenery. The air, thick with exhaust fumes in the city, turned crisp and clean, carrying the sweet scent of pine and damp earth. As they finally turned onto the gravel path leading to their secluded cabin, a shared sense of peace settled over them. They had arrived. The cabin, built from sturdy logs, stood as a testament to a bygone era. It was rustic yet charming, with its welcoming porch, smoke curling invitingly from its chimney, and a porch swing that creaked gently in the breeze. The surrounding woods were alive with the symphony of nature, the rustling leaves, the chirping crickets, the distant hoot of an owl. The children, their initial excitement giving way to a sense of wonder, eagerly explored their surroundings. David, ever the adventurer, raced towards the nearby stream, its gurgling waters beckoning him. Lily, drawn to the vibrant wildflowers dotting the meadow, skipped happily, her laughter echoing through the trees. John and Mary, watching their children reconnect with nature, felt a sense of contentment wash over them. This was exactly what they needed, a chance to breathe, to reconnect, to rediscover the simple joys of life. As evening descended, casting long shadows across the clearing, a subtle shift occurred. The forest, once vibrant and welcoming, took on an eerie stillness. The playful chirping of birds was replaced by an unsettling silence, broken only by the distant cawing of crows. John, attempting to start a fire in the old stone fireplace, found the wood damp and unwilling to catch. Mary, preparing dinner, noticed the once full water container was nearly empty. She distinctly remembered filling it earlier. Their initial amusement at these minor inconveniences was quickly replaced by a creeping unease. The isolation of the cabin, once a source of comfort, now felt oppressive, closing in on them like an unseen hand. A sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air, as tangible as the gathering darkness. That night, as the wind howled outside their windows, rattling the old shutters, sleep evaded them. Strange sounds seemed to emanate from the woods. The snapping of twigs, the rustling of leaves, a low guttural growl that sent shivers down their spines. David, his young mind racing with images from the horror movies he wasn't supposed to watch, swore he saw a pair of eyes gleaming at him from the edge of the woods. Their attempts to rationalize these events fell flat. The unsettling feeling persisted, growing stronger with each passing moment. John, his usual composure shaken, checked and rechecked the locks on the doors and windows. Mary, her voice trembling, tried to soothe the children's growing fear. But her own terror was palpable. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. They were not alone in the wilderness. They were being watched. The following day, the tension in the cabin was thick enough to cut with a knife. John, determined to get to the bottom of the unsettling occurrences, decided to investigate the perimeter of their secluded haven. Armed with nothing but a rusty old axe he found in the shed, he ventured into the woods, the children's worried eyes following his every move. He found strange footprints, large, inhuman, and definitely not belonging to any animal he could identify. The woods, once a source of tranquility, now felt menacing, every creak and groan raising goosebumps on his skin. He called out, his voice echoing in the stillness, but the only response was the unsettling silence of the woods. He returned to the cabin, his face grim, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. He didn't need to utter a word. The fear in his eyes spoke volumes. Section 6. Terror in the Night. As darkness enveloped the cabin once more, so did their unseen tormentor. The unsettling noises from the previous night returned, louder, closer, filled with an unmistakable malice. Something heavy slammed against the cabin walls, the impact shaking the very foundation of their shelter. Panic surged through the small family. John, his protective instincts kicking in, barricaded the doors and windows with whatever furniture he could move. Mary, her eyes wide with terror, clutched her children close, whispering reassurances she herself didn't believe. The relentless pounding continued, each thud of wood against wood like a hammer blow to their rapidly diminishing hope. They were trapped, hunted, their idyllic getaway transformed into a nightmare. Section 7. Desperate Measures. They huddled together throughout the long, terrifying night, the sounds of their unseen attacker a constant reminder of their vulnerability. As dawn finally broke, casting a pale light on their exhausted faces, a desperate plan began to form in John's mind. Their only hope lay in escaping the cabin, in making a run for their car, their only link to civilization. He knew the moment they stepped outside they would be exposed, vulnerable. But to stay meant certain death. He quickly explained his plan, his voice hoarse but firm. Mary, her maternal instinct screaming at her to keep her children safe, fought back tears as she nodded her agreement. They had no other choice. Section 8. A glimmer of hope? With hearts pounding in their chests, they made their move. John, axe held high, threw open the door and charged outside, his primal roar echoing through the clearing. Mary and the children followed closely behind, their eyes darting back and forth, searching for any sign of their attacker. They ran as fast as their legs could carry them, the forest blurring around them. The car, their beacon of hope, shimmered in the distance, but their relief was short-lived. A deafening roar, filled with rage and hunger, erupted from the woods behind them. Their pursuer was closing in. Section 9. Final Revelation. John urged his family forward, his lungs burning, his legs screaming for respite. They were almost there, just a few more yards. He risked a glance over his shoulder just as a massive shadowy figure emerged from the tree line. But it wasn't the creature of the night he was expecting. It was David. David was smiling, a chilling, malevolent grin that sent shivers down John's spine. His eyes, once filled with fear, now gleamed with an eerie, otherworldly light. He raised his hands, and the car, their salvation, suddenly lurched violently, all four tires exploding in unison. They were trapped, and their own son, now a vessel for something sinister and unknown, stood between them and any hope of escape.